Okay, today we're going to take a look at string trimmer heads and give you an idea of a couple different styles that they make, and just give you a better idea of what might work better for you, what might be easier for you, what might be more useful for you. So the first one we're going to start with is on this Husqvarna trimmer here. This is the old style conventional spool type head, where this runs out of line. You've got to take this end off of here, and then you've got an actual spool in here where you've got to wrap the line up. And this is one of them ones that a lot of people have a fit about. They can't figure out which way to do it, which way to wind it. These heads from Husqvarna, really nice because you just take your line, you cut off a good bit of it. You know, this is just what we have left in this one here, but you cut off a huge piece of line, and then you just find the middle, take your two ends, put them together, line them up, and make a U right there. And on the top of it, if you can see that, it actually has arrows that tell you which way it goes. So it's real simple. Just follow your arrows, and it even shows the U, and you just wind it up. Wind right around there. And then it's got some little notches that you clip the string into to hold it in place while you put it together. And then just stick that back in there like that. Well, put the bottom on there, and put your string coming out through the eyes on the side, and then you just snap everything back up in there like everything lined up there, just like that. So then what happens with this head here, as the head's spinning and you know you want to get more line out, the head's spinning, you bump it on the ground, which pushes this button in, and more line comes out. And they say that's basically the style that's been around for decades. These are good heads because they can hold a lot of string. The Husqvarna T35 trimmer head, I think it's like 28 feet of 095 string you can put in there. So landscapers like that because, you know, you wind them things up at the beginning of the day, you're going to be able to run for a long time before you have to restring that. Now, the downside of these heads is that when you have to take it apart, these eyes, you can end up losing them, you can end up losing a spring, stuff like that. And that's one of them things, if your guy's trying to get out of work, you'll see that stuff disappear, and they'll say, oh, I can't work because my my trimmer head's broken and the string won't come out of it, and, you know, excuses like that. So that's one reason why these have kind of fallen out of favor with some people over the years. But other than that, good solid head, you know, tried and true method. Biggest thing is just know which way to wind the string in there. Large capacity, so that's a good thing. And they work very well. You know, you wear out the bump stop on the bottom, you can replace that part, or you can replace the whole head. So the next style head here is the rapid load style head. This one is on an old Echo that I got. And these are real simple. These are ones that, you know, some golf courses and places like that, they really liked it because there's not a whole lot of work involved with putting the string in. What you do is you cut your string to about an 8-inch long piece. This one here is actually better. This one's a little bit longer. And you cut your string, like I say, it would normally be about 8 inches or so. And all you do with this is there's little paws in there that are spring loaded. So you push this in, push it in so you have just a little bit sticking out on the inside, and give it a little tug, and it stays in place there. And you do the same thing with the one on the other side. And you're good to go. Now they stay in there, and that's all there is to it. You know, if it's a little bit longer, the string will come around, and the blade on the guard will cut it down to the size it's supposed to be. But as you can see, real simple. You know, the big thing with this is there's nothing to take apart. You send a guy out there with a pocket full of, you know, maybe 10 or 12 of these pre-cut lines, and they go to town for a while. The biggest thing with this is you can run the bigger, heavier line in it, so it takes longer for it to wear down. You know, if you're getting some big, thick, heavy stuff, some big, thick weeds, this is definitely an advantage to have one of these heads because you don't have to wind that string up in there. When it wears out, you just pull these out that you saw, pull them through the other side, come right out, put your new piece in there, and off you go. The other thing with these is, because you're not winding it up, a lot of times if you're running one of these, one of the other style heads here with the spool in it, and you're running that thing pretty hard and it's starting to get pretty hot, you know, if you got some cheap line, it'll melt together in there, or it'll stick just enough that it won't come out. It jams up, so you got to pull the whole thing apart, you know, and rewind it. That can be a pain in the butt and waste some time. So this is another option. This is another method that, you know, it all depends on your jobs you're doing and your opinion of what works best for you. But this is a good option for homeowners that aren't sure how to wind the string up in their string trimmer. Real easy one. You can actually buy the packs of the pre-cut line from Echo and a couple other different companies that you just push in there and you're ready to go. Or you could buy a whole big spool of it, you know, 1 or 2 pound spool, and cut your own up, and, you know, like I say, just stick it in your pocket and off you go. So now we'll take a look at one more type of head here that's become really popular lately. Okay, this is the third style head we got here. This is a speed feed. This one is actually an Echo brand. A couple other companies that make these style heads, but this one combines the good features of the conventional spool style bump head and the rapid loader head to make one really good unit that carries a lot of string and is really easy to load. So what you do here is, you know, your shaft would be coming in from your trimmer on this side, and this is the side you would smack against the ground to get more string to come out. And to load the string in there, you just rotate this around, and there will be a hole. When you look through the holes, the eyelets for the string, when you look through there, you'll see a hole in the center. You line that up so you can see the whole way through. And then what you do, just run your string straight through, like this. We got a little bit too much here, but you run that straight through, get your two ends there lined up to where they're even, and like I say, your shaft from your trimmer, your gearbox will be right here, and this will be the part that you would bump into the ground, so this will be exposed to you. So what you do is you just take this and you just turn it, and as you hear that clicking, it's ratcheting and it's drawing the string in. That's all there is to it. You just turn that right around there. And that's it. Winds the string in, and we can go about another turn or two there. So that's it. Real simple. Like I said, this is the side here where your shaft would be, or your gearbox for your trimmer, and this is the side you'd smack in the ground, and it works the same way as the regular bump style head, where your trimmer's running, you bump it on the ground, and more string's going to come out. But real easy to load like the rapid loader, and these here, you can put about 20 feet of the 095 string in them, so you can carry a decent amount in there. But the best part is you don't have to take it apart. You don't have to worry about losing any parts out in the field. You don't have to worry about your guys, if you're a commercial landscaper, you know, purposely losing parts out there so they don't have to work that day. Or if you're a homeowner, you don't have to worry about taking this thing apart and not being able to figure out how it goes in there. It's real simple. And the other big thing about all these heads, not just this one, but all of these different types of heads, you can buy them, like you can buy the Husqvarna T25, T35, the rapid load heads through Echo, Stihl, a couple different other, you know, brands and OEMs make them, that style head. And the same way with these speed feed style heads, you can buy them in a kit, and they'll come with all these different spacers and nuts and bolts and everything to make them able to be mounted onto various brands and models. You know, all you gotta do is follow the instructions, but they've got hex adapters, they've got spacers, you name it. Couple different size nuts in there, some are reverse thread. So you could take this, like I said, this is the Echo speed feed head, the Echo version of it, and you can put this on the Husqvarna trimmer, no problem. And at the same time, you could take this high capacity Husqvarna T25 head and put that on an Echo or a Stihl if you wanted to, or you know, pretty much any other brand you got. They say they come with the instructions here, and usually these are pretty good. They give you a pretty good breakdown of the different models and which pieces of hardware you need for which. See if they got the list inside here. Yeah, here it is. You can see they just go through everything there. That's every brand and every model of trimmer that this will fit. And there's even more in the back. On the back here, you got Stihl, Toro, Troy-Bilt, Weed Eater, Yard Machine, and Yardman. And it'll tell you the reference number. And that reference number is which drawing you go to inside here to figure out which spacers and what bushings and you know, what hardware you need to mount it on there. So real simple to do. And like I say, that's the same way with these rapid load heads. You get the same thing with all these bushings and spacers and stuff like that. The heads from Husqvarna, the high capacity ones, you can get them in a couple different sizes and adapt them onto your Stihls and your Echoes and Shindalas and what other trimmer brands you're running. I think they have them that'll fit just about anything nowadays. So, at any rate, hope that helps you guys out. If you're having problems figuring out how to reload the string in your trimmer, you got to keep taking to the repair shop for something that simple, or you've just given up because you can't get it figured out and end up throwing your trimmer in the trash. Hopefully one of these options here will help you out a little bit better if you're a commercial landscape guy. You know, these are something you might want to look into, or the Husqvarna heads, you know, the high capacity. So, at any rate, hope you guys learned something here, and maybe it'll save you a little bit of time and a little bit of money in the end.